Nothing is ever quite as it appears to be in the ever-twisting tapestry that is the bold and the beautiful. Emotions are running high, secrets are hanging in the air, and nothing is known for sure. This week, we are given a discovery that is not only unexpected, but also has the potential to shake up not only Taylor's life, but also the complex love triangle that she is frequently at the center of. As fans, we were preparing ourselves to say goodbye to the cherished Taylor Hayes, and we believed we were bracing ourselves for a catastrophe. On the other hand, it appears that fate and the authors had different plans. Indeed, Taylor is not going to pass away. Nevertheless, in a startling turn of events, she forgets to tell Ridge, which leaves all of us wondering about the reasons behind her actions. The incorrect diagnosis. Taylor Hayes was given a terminal prognosis at the beginning of the novel, which was a horrific moment that had fans reeling. It was a scenario that broke my heart because Taylor, who is typically the epitome of strength, appeared to be weak and vulnerable. Ridge, who was by her side, was utterly heartbroken, despite the fact that their relationship had been through a lot of challenges over the years. As they navigated what appeared to be a grim future, it was impossible to deny the chemistry and connection that existed between them simultaneously. But then, the unexpected turn of events. In what could only be described as a dramatic rollercoaster typical of the bold and the beautiful, Taylor received additional test results. It was discovered that there had been a mix-up, and the initial diagnosis was incorrect. It was not Taylor's death. She had no intention of abandoning her family, her children, or Ridge in the process. Although this was, without a doubt, wonderful news, Taylor's eyes exhibited a certain reluctance as she took in the information that was being presented to her. Rather of hastily informing everyone she cared about, Taylor delayed her announcement. Something changed in the way she was looking at me, and it was at that precise time that it became quite evident that she had no intention of informing Ridge, at least not right away. The silence of Taylor. Is she challenging Ridge, or is she trying to protect her heart? What could possibly motivate Taylor, a character who is typically so forthright and honest, to conceal something that is so vital from Ridge? It would appear that the answer is just as difficult as her past relationship with him. Despite the fact that Ridge has always been the love of Taylor's life, she has also lived through his love for Brooke Logan, which has frequently taken precedence over her own love. The experience of being Ridge's second choice and his fallback in the event that things do not go as planned with Brooke is something that Taylor is familiar with. And perhaps for the very first time, she recognized the possibility of gaining a genuine comprehension of Ridge's feelings toward her, without the specter of her health towering over her. While Ridge and Taylor were struggling to come to terms with the fact that she was supposedly going to pass away soon, Ridge was visibly shaken and distraught by the prospect of losing Taylor. There were times when they were gentle with one another, times that brought tears to their eyes and brought them back to the days when their love was the centerpiece of their existence. Ridge revealed his feelings for her as he was hugging her tight and assuring her that he would be at her side for the remainder of her life while she was still alive. But those words, were they produced out of a genuine reignited love for Taylor, or were they merely born out of his sympathy and dread of losing her? Taylor herself is unsure of the answer to the question. It is possible for her to observe what Ridge will do if he honestly believes that her time is limited if she does not inform him that she is all right. She has the ability to determine whether his sense of devotion extends beyond simple pity. The fact that Ridge was finally going to pick her was something that Taylor needed to be aware of. She wanted to know that he wasn't only motivated by the idea of her disappearing for good. The struggle of Steffy and Thomas as a family. It goes without saying that Ridge is not the only person who stands to be impacted by Taylor's deception. This network of half-truths and hidden agendas has her children Steffy and Thomas entangled in its weave. In spite of the fact that Steffy and her mother have always shared a close relationship, she is beginning to feel that something is not quite right. Taylor, despite her best efforts to give the impression that she is content with her situation, is in some way unique. Steffy observes that there is a twinkle in her eyes, as well as a subtle change in the way she interacts with others. Because Steffy is her mother's daughter, she is not the type of person to let things pass without question. She puts pressure on Taylor in an effort to gain an understanding of what is taking on. But Taylor maintains that everything is okay and that she is merely attempting to make the most of the time that she has. Steffi, who is divided between trusting her mother and following her intuition, makes the decision to ensure that Taylor is under close observation. While all is going on, Thomas, who has always been more susceptible to emotional turbulence, is left battling throughout the situation. It has been a blow to him, especially after all the ups and downs that have occurred in his life in recent times, that his mother is supposedly suffering from a terminal illness. Attempting to be the one who is strong for his family is the primary focus of his energy as he begins to slide downward, as he grows more and more preoccupied with his mother's condition. His relationships, notably the thin bond he has with Hope, begin to manifest signs of unraveling. Confusion on Ridge's part and suspicions on Brooke's part. Ridge, on the other hand, is having a difficult battle. Years of history, love, remorse, and guilt have all been entangled with his feelings for Taylor, which have always been complicated since the beginning. He had an enormous need to be with Taylor and to provide her with assistance in any way that he could when he was under the impression that she was passing away. At that same moment, he was convinced that he loved her. He informed her that he loved her. However, Brooke, who is always perceptive when it comes to Ridge, is able to know that something is not quite right. Despite the fact that she knows Ridge better than anyone else, she is beginning to distrust his genuine motives as a result of his conduct. Brooke is beginning to have the suspicion that Ridge's unwavering dedication to Taylor might not be as easy as it initially appears. In a confrontation with Ridge, she inquires as to whether or not he genuinely loves Taylor, or whether he is merely caught up in the emotion of her alleged illness. After experiencing a sense of internal struggle, Ridge starts to question his own feelings. Does he believe that he has no other option but to be with Taylor, or does he do so because he genuinely desires to be with her? Ridge finds himself divided between his obligation to Taylor and his lingering love for Brooke as a result of the intensity of the impact that Brooke's comments have on him. Taylor's personal preference, the ultimate reveal. As time passes, it becomes increasingly difficult for Taylor to conceal her secret. Her family is still going through a difficult time, and she has come to the realization that the cost of her quiet might be too great. After observing the unraveling of Thomas and observing the uncertainty in Steffi's eyes, Taylor is aware that she is unable to conceal the truth for an infinite amount of time. It is up to her to decide whether she will reveal the truth to Ridge and her children, or whether she would allow the illusion to continue, which would enable her to continue living in a version of reality in which Ridge has finally approved of her without any reservations. During a scenario that is filled with intense feelings, Taylor makes the decision to expose the truth, but not before her invitation to Ridge for one final passionate evening. While they are enjoying a delicious meal together, Taylor divulges to Ridge everything she has ever felt for him, including all of the love, all of the suffering, and the hope that perhaps one day they will be able to find happiness once more. Ridge, who is moved, responds in kind, although there is a trace of reluctance in his words. Despite the fact that Ridge's love is genuine, Taylor has come to the realization that it may still be connected to the idea of her passing away. It is at this precise time that Taylor makes the decision to expose the truth, not only to herself, but also to Ridge, Steffi, Thomas, and even Brooke. Ridge is informed by her that the diagnosis was incorrect and that she is not imminently passing away. Ridge is completely taken aback and at a loss for words. The relief is obvious, yet there is also a sense of bewilderment. Taylor continues to keep a close eye on him, scanning his eyes for any indication of the truth. The room is filled with silence, and inside that silence lays the solution to the question that Taylor has been avoiding asking all along. Who will Ridge select now that there is no tragedy compelling him to make a decision to choose between two options? A fresh start, or a continuation of the same old story? It appears that we are left with a greater number of questions than answers as the week draws to a conclusion. The disclosure made by Taylor has altered everything, but it may not have changed anything at all. The heart of Ridge, which is always divided, continues to be a mystery. Brooke, who has picked up on the change, is not prepared to retreat, and Taylor, despite the fact that she is stronger now, is unclear of where she actually stands. There is still a lot of uncertainty surrounding the future of Taylor and Ridge, but one thing is certain: Taylor's journey is not yet ended. It is now time for her to confront the reality of her connection with Ridge, which is not constrained by pity or urgency, but rather by genuine love, if such a thing exists. She has met death and emerged stronger from the experience. In light of the fact that Ridge is no longer under any need to make a decision, will he actually go with Taylor? It is possible that the old patterns will reappear, causing him to gravitate back towards Brooke once more. As is typical with Bold and the Beautiful, we are aware that whatever occurs in the future will be packed with a great deal of drama, passion, and unexpected twists that will keep us riveted to our televisions.